Trump reportedly moved to halt federal use of Anthropic technology. Then the story took a hard turn. Within hours, multiple reports claim Claude may still have been used in military workflows tied to the Iran operation. If that reporting is accurate, this is not just another AI headline. It is the moment where politics, war, and artificial intelligence collide. A ban on one side, a live operation on the other, and one brutal question in the middle. When a powerful AI model becomes part of a real system, who can actually switch it off fast enough to matter?
Number 1. The headline sounds impossible, which is why it works.
At first glance, this story sounds too contradictory to be real. Trump reportedly pushes to stop federal use of Anthropic technology. Then reports say Claude may still have shown up in military workflows connected to the Iran strikes. That sharp contradiction is exactly why the headline is so powerful. People hear it once and instantly understand the tension. It feels like the public story and the real story cannot both be true. But that tension is also what makes the story believable. Large institutions rarely move at the speed of their own announcements. A policy decision can be made in minutes. A complex system can take days, weeks, or months to unwind. Behind any public order, there are internal tools, approval chains, contractors, permissions, and workflows already built around existing systems. That means a public move can be immediate, while the operational change is anything but immediate. This matters because it points to something bigger than one political fight. Most viewers still think of AI as a tool you choose to open when you need it. Inside major institutions, the same technology can quietly become part of the process itself. It supports decisions, it speeds up analysis, it becomes less like a product and more like a hidden layer inside the machine. That is the real reason this story hits so hard. It is not only about one report or one model. It is about the possibility that advanced AI has already crossed the line from optional tool to operational dependency. And once that happens, ban may stop meaning off. It may only mean that the fight over control has started. That leads to the next layer of the story. The real issue may not be whether the public order happened. The real issue may be why a model like Claude could become valuable enough that removing it quickly becomes difficult in the first place.
Number 2. Why Claude matters more than the average viewer realizes.
Claude is not controversial here just because it is famous. It matters because it belongs to the top tier of frontier AI models, the same class of systems that can rapidly summarize large volumes of text, compare complex information, and turn chaos into something humans can process faster. For a normal user, that sounds like convenience. For a government or military workflow, that can become strategic leverage. Think about the difference between reading hundreds of pages manually and getting a compressed summary in seconds. Think about the difference between sorting disconnected reports one by one and having a model surface likely patterns, repeated names, or conflicting signals almost instantly. In a high-pressure environment, speed changes everything. It changes what gets noticed first. It changes what gets escalated. It changes how fast a team moves from overload to action. That is why reports linking Claude to intelligence assessment, targeting support, or simulation sparked such intense reaction. Even if a model is not making final decisions, it can still influence the path leading to those decisions. It can help organize the information a human sees. It can shape which signals look urgent. It can frame possibilities earlier in the chain. That kind of influence is easy to miss because it happens before the final moment, but it can still be powerful. Claude also sits at the center of a deeper conflict because Anthropic has often been associated with stronger safety language and tighter guardrails. That creates friction the moment a powerful institution wants broad, flexible use. If a company wants stricter limits and a government wants more room to operate, the disagreement stops being technical. It becomes a fight over authority. Who sets the boundary once the model becomes strategically useful? This is not only a story about whether Claude was reportedly used, it's also a story about whether the company that built the model can still meaningfully shape how it is used once it becomes valuable inside a major national security workflow. And that tension opens a much bigger door. Because once a tool becomes useful enough to matter in a live workflow, it doesn't behave like an app anymore. It behaves like something institutions start relying on, and that changes the next question completely. How does that reliance actually play out in the real world?
Number 3. The real pattern is bigger than this one incident.
The easiest way to understand this story is to compare it to something far less dramatic. Imagine a major company announces that it is stopping use of a key software platform immediately. Publicly, that sounds final. In practice, it almost never is. Teams still have files in the system, ongoing projects still depend on it, staff are trained around it, other tools still connect to it, the replacement isn't ready yet. So even after the announcement, the old system often lingers while the transition quietly starts in the background. Now, scale that up to the federal government. Then scale it up again to military and intelligence environments, where change is slower, approvals are stricter, and failure carries much bigger consequences. That is why this story feels shocking on the surface, but still makes sense underneath. Public language can move fast, infrastructure does not. That difference explains why viewers feel such a strong reaction. Most people hear ban and naturally think off. So when reports suggest the model may still have remained inside a live workflow after a dramatic political move against it, it creates a trust shock. It makes people feel like they're being told one thing while something else may still be happening behind the scenes. That emotional jolt is a huge part of why the story is so clickable. It also points to a deeper truth about AI and powerful systems. A model like Claude doesn't have to replace humans to become essential. It only has to make them faster. It can shorten long reports, surface recurring details, compare scenarios, and reduce the time spent sorting noise from signal. In a fast-moving environment, that kind of acceleration can become deeply valuable. And once teams begin to depend on that speed, removing the model can feel less like losing a convenience and more like forcing the system to slow down at exactly the wrong moment. That is the pattern hiding in plain sight. The public sees the announcement. The gap between those two becomes the real story. Which brings us to the part the broader AI industry should be paying close attention to. Because if this pattern is real, then the biggest takeaway may not be political at all. It may be competitive.
Number 4. This is not just a news story. It is a market signal.
If you run an AI channel, this is the part that should make you lean in. This story is not only about Anthropic, it's a signal to every major AI company watching the market. Once a frontier model gets tied to government, defense, or other high-stakes workflows, the whole game changes. At that point, it's no longer just about which model has the best demo, the smartest answers, or the most viral product launch. It becomes about contracts, institutional trust, and who gets embedded where. That is why a conflict involving one model can quickly benefit a rival. If one company becomes politically risky, operationally difficult, or publicly controversial, another company can step in and present itself as the safer bet, the easier partner, or the more flexible option. A guardrails dispute can turn into a market shift. A policy clash can become a revenue opportunity. This is where the story becomes much bigger than a single headline. The AI race may not be decided only by who builds the smartest system. It may also be shaped by who becomes the hardest to remove once powerful institutions start depending on them. That kind of position creates a different type of dominance. It's infrastructure leverage. There's another reason this matters. For years, AI safety was mostly discussed through a consumer lens: harmful outputs, misinformation, hallucinations, or misuse. This story pushes the debate into a more serious arena. What happens when the safety preferences of an AI lab collide with the operational demands of a state institution? That is no longer a branding issue. That is a real power struggle. For viewers, that is what makes this story feel like a turning point. It suggests AI labs are not just software companies anymore. In some cases, they are becoming gatekeepers to capabilities that governments may see as strategically important. And once that happens, every dispute over access, limits, and control becomes more intense. But the real long-term impact may be even bigger than that. Because if the core lesson is that advanced AI becomes harder to remove as it becomes more useful, then this story is not only about today, it's a preview of what the next stage of AI power could look like.
5. The future may belong to the systems no one can unplug fast. The most important lesson in this story may not be what happened in one tense news cycle. It may be the pattern it points toward. As advanced AI spreads deeper into governments, enterprises, and critical systems, we are likely to see more moments where the public headline and the operational reality do not line up cleanly. A tool gets restricted but still lingers. A company gets criticized but remains necessary. A transition begins, but the old system stays alive longer than the public expects. That is not just a communications problem. It is the natural result of dependency. Once a model becomes useful enough inside a powerful workflow, removing it is no longer simple. The institution has to consider disruption, retraining, replacement risk, continuity, and timing. That means public policy can move quickly while the real machinery keeps moving on a slower track. We should also expect the fight over control to grow sharper. Governments will want highly capable systems that are dependable, fast, and adaptable. AI companies will want to protect their policies, leverage, and reputations. Contractors will often sit in the middle, shaping what actually gets deployed in practice. So the next major AI battles may not happen only in public launches. They may happen in procurement, compliance, closed-door negotiations, and policy fights over who gets to define the real limits. This also changes how we should think about frontier models. Calling them chatbots misses the point once they are embedded in high-stakes systems. At that stage, they become infrastructure layers. And once AI becomes infrastructure, the questions change fast. People stop asking only what the model can do. They start asking who depends on it, who can audit it, who can replace it, and what happens if it fails during a crisis. That is why this story matters, even if some of the most sensitive details remain report-based. It still points to a larger shift. The next phase of AI power may be shaped as much by dependency as by raw intelligence. The winners may not only be the labs with the smartest models. They may be the ones whose systems powerful institutions feel they cannot easily unplug. If the reporting behind this story is accurate, then the biggest takeaway is not just that one model may have remained inside a live workflow after a dramatic political move against it. The deeper takeaway is that advanced AI may already be crossing from tool to dependency. And once that happens, control gets harder, accountability gets murkier, and public headlines start revealing only part of the real picture. So here's the question your viewers will remember. When AI becomes part of critical infrastructure, who really has the power to shut it down?